This is Chemistry for Grade 10. Produced by Tigray Education Bureau. Transmitted by Dimtsi Weyane Tigray National and FM radio satellites and social media. And also FM Maqala 104.4.
Hello students, welcome to chemistry lesson in grade 10, presented by Brahana Hagos. This is program 2. Students, in the previous lesson, you learned about definition, classification, and preparation of salts. And also, you learned preparation of salts. Today also, you will learn preparation of salts, plant nutrients, electrical conductivity, and electrolysis. Aqueous solubility of salts. Aqueous solution of soluble salts are good conductors of electricity because they release mobile, positive and negative ions in solution. 4. Thermal solubility of salts. All salts are not thermally stable. For example, consider the thermal decomposition of carbonates and nitrates. Carbonates of group 2A and most transition metals decompose on heating to give metal oxide and carbon dioxide. Example, magnesium carbonate plus heat gives magnesium oxide plus carbon dioxide gas. However, carbonates of sodium and potassium are not decomposed by heat. That is, sodium carbonate plus heat, no reaction. Thermal decomposition of nitrates. Heating nitrates of group 2A and most transition metals produces metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen. Example, magnesium nitrate plus heat gives magnesium oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Nitrates of sodium and potassium decompose on heating to give nitrites and oxygen gas. Example, sodium nitrate plus heat produce sodium nitrite plus oxygen. The carbonates and nitrates of lithium differ from those of sodium and potassium. They decompose on heating. Example, lithium carbonate plus heat gives lithium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Lithium nitrate plus heat gives lithium oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Students, in your textbook on page 142, there is use of important salts. So, read as an reading assignment like use of sodium chloride, ammonium nitrate, copper 2 sulfate, iron 3 chloride, potassium nitrate, copper sulfate hydrated, barium sulfate, iron to sulfate. And also do exercise 2.11 on page 151, question number 1, 2, and 3. Students, answer the following questions based on the property of salts. Number 1. Explain how soluble salts are conductors of electricity. 2. Decomposition of group 2A metals, carbonate salts, gives blank and blank. Let me repeat the questions. Explain how soluble salts are conductors of electricity. 2. Decomposition of group 2A metals, carbonate salts, gives blank and blank. 3. Heating nitrate of group 1A metals produces blank and blank. 4. Sodium carbonate plus heat gives blank. Now do it. Thus questions. Answer. Number 1. Soluble salts conducts electricity due to releasing of mobile ions. 2. Decomposition of group 2 metal carbonates gives metal oxide plus carbon dioxide. 3. Heating nitrates of group 1A metal produce metal nitrite plus oxygen. 4. Sodium carbonate plus heat. The answer is no reaction because carbonates of sodium and potassium are not decomposed by heat. Let's proceed to next section. Plant nutrients. Minerals required by plants for their growth and development are called plant nutrients. Elements required by plants for their growth and development are called essential nutrients. There are 17 elements required by plants for their growth and development. Thus are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iron, manganese, boron, copper, zinc, molybdenum, cobalt, and chlorine. Depending on the amount required by plants, these elements are classified as macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are required by plants in large amount. Example: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, calcium. Micronutrients are required by plants in small amount. Example, iron, cobalt, zinc, copper, manganese, molybdenum, boron, chlorine. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are known as primary plant nutrients. The role of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in plant growth are discussed below. A. Nitrogen, absorbed by plants in the form of nitrate ion. In the growth and development of plants, nitrogen is utilized in the synthesis of amino acid, protein, coenzyme, nucleic acid, and chlorophyll. B. Phosphorus. Phosphorus absorbed by plants in the form of dihydrogen phosphate and monohydrogen phosphate. Phosphorus facilitates early growth and root formation, kick maturity, and promote seed or fruit production, and also used in the formation of some amino acid, protein, coenzyme, nucleic acid, and high energy phosphate compounds like adenosine triphosphate. C. Potassium. Potassium absorbed by plants in the form of potassium ion. Potassium facilitates the process of photosynthesis and protein synthesis, adjust stomata movement, control the turgidity of plant, increase solid potential or sap concentration. Fertilizers. Fertilizers are materials added to soil to increase the growth, yield, or nutrient value of crops. Fertilizers can be organic or inorganic. Organic fertilizers are fertilizers derived from animal and plants. Example, animal dung, urine, substances obtained from the decay and decomposition of plants. Synthetic or artificial fertilizers. Such type of fertilizers are derived from non-living things. This type of fertilizer contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Example, ammonium sulfate, potassium nitrate, diammonium hydrogen phosphate, monoammonium hydrogen phosphate. Pesticides. Pesticides are chemicals applied to agricultural crops to kill pests which affect plant growth and development. Example, parasitic fungi, insects, animals like rodents, rabbits, birds, etc. Fumigant insecticides that exists in the vapor phase. Example, hydrogen cyanide, sulfur dioxide, carbon disulfide, and phosphine are fumigants used in the treatment of empty transport containers. The other Inorganic pesticides are copper compounds such as copper 2 chloride, copper 2 hydroxide, copper 2 nitrate, copper 1 oxide, copper 2 sulfate, and copper 2 carbonate. Hydrogen cyanide, sulfur dioxide, phosphine, copper 2 chloride, copper 2 hydroxide, copper 2 nitrate, and copper 2 carbonates are used as insecticides. Copper 2 sulfate and copper 1 oxides are used as fungicides. Herbicides. Herbicides are also called weed killers. Herbicides used to control the damage caused by weeds or unwanted plants. Herbicides can be organic or inorganic. The following are some important inorganic herbicides. 1. Ammonium sulfamate. 2. Borax. 3. Sodium chlorate. 4. Ferrosulfate. Students, today you learned about some property of salts, plant nutrients like macronutrient, micronutrients, and also you learned about fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. Students, in your textbook on page 158 to 160, there is a review exercise. Do part 2A and B matching, and also part 3 choice part. Next time you will learn about electrochemistry. Until next time, goodbye everyone.